Shavua Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Nedarim. We're up to Perek Vav Mishnah Zayin. Today's Mishnayot should be Leilul Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Aranbayev, Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov ben Chana bad Miriam Menuchatam began Eden Amen, and Leavdi ben Chaim Lechaim v'derefua shenemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa betoch Shah Cholei Israel. The Mishnah continues its discussion about flavor absorbed from a neder forbidden food. Hanodel min hayayin, if someone makes a neder that prohibits him from wine, mutar betavshil shesh bo tam yayin, he is permitted to eat cooked food that has the flavor of wine, because people do not refer to wine-flavored food as wine. This follows the Tana Kama of the previous Mishnah, who ruled that a neder forbidding meat in general is limited to what people call meat, and does not include food such as gravy that has the flavor of meat. Amal konam yain zeh sheni toem, but if he pointed to a bottle of wine and said, konam, that I will not taste this wine, and the wine fell into a cooked food, the law is as follows. If there is enough of the wine for it to give its flavor to the cooked food, the cooked food becomes forbidden. Since the neder was directed at a specific portion of wine, even its flavor is forbidden. Now, having discussed flavor that comes from a neder forbidden food, the Mishnah turns to the juice of a neder forbidden fruit. If someone makes a neder that prohibits him from grapes, mutar biyayin, he is permitted to drink wine because people do not refer to wine as grapes. Mina zetim, and if he prohibits himself from eating olives, mutar b'shemen, he is permitted to eat olive oil because people do not refer to olive oil as olives. Amar konam zetim v'nevim alai sheni toem, but if he said konam, that I will not taste these olives and grapes, asur ben ubayotze ben, he is forbidden to eat them and the juice that comes out of them. Since the neder was directed at specific grapes or olives, the prohibition applies to their juice as well. That is in Mishnah Zayin. Mishnah Chet continues regarding Nedarim about other fruit. Hanodel min tamarim, if someone makes a neder that prohibits him from dates, mutar bidvash tamarim, he is permitted date honey, like we learned in the previous Mishnah. If someone makes a neder that prohibits a type of food, only the food itself is forbidden and not its juice. Mi sitvaniot, if he prohibited himself from winter grapes are inferior grapes that remain on the vine until the winter. They were not pressed into wine, but were commonly used to make vinegar. Mutar bechometz sitvaniot, he is permitted the vinegar of winter grapes. Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera Omer, however, Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera says, Kol sheshem Toldato kiruya alav, regarding any fruit whose product carries the name of the fruit, like in the previous examples of date honey and winter grape vinegar, which include the name of the source fruit, which is dates and winter grapes. V'noder hemenu, the rule is that if someone made a neder prohibiting the fruit, asur af bayotzem hemenu, he is forbidden to eat even that which comes out of the fruit. So one who made a neder prohibiting dates or winter grapes is forbidden to eat even their honey or vinegar. Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera holds that since the honey of dates is not simply called honey, but is rather identified by its source, date honey, it is included in a neder directed at dates. And for the same reason, winter grape vinegar is included in a neder that mentions winter grapes. According to the Tana Kama, however, even if the product of a food is identified by its source, a neder that mentions the source does not include the product. And the third view regarding winter grapes, v'chachamim materim, the sages ruled that if someone prohibited winter grapes, he is permitted to eat the grapes themselves. It is only their vinegar that is forbidden. The sages reason that since he intended to prohibit himself to eat something, he must have been referring to the vinegar which is edible. He could have not meant the fruit themselves because winter grapes cannot be eaten. The sages agree with the Tana Kama in principle that a neder referring to a species of fruit prohibits only the fruit itself and not its juice. However, according to the sages, inedible fruit does not follow this rule. Since there is no point in prohibiting something that is inedible, the person who made the neder must have been referring not to the fruit itself, but to the product of the fruit that is edible. So, for example, a neder made with reference to winter grapes which are not eaten prohibits only their vinegar. So to summarize, there are three opinions about one who says that winter grapes are forbidden. The Tana Kama rules that only the actual grapes are forbidden and not the vinegar. Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera holds that both the grapes and the vinegar are forbidden. And the sages maintain that only the vinegar is forbidden and not the grapes. And the Rav does tell us, V'alcha kechachamim, that Alcha follows the opinion of the sages. And that is an Abotai of Mishnah.